to
that is what it's
reach
called, software
maximum 100
development life
users.
cycles are there.
Maximum
Okay,
means my
same way
load
software
test is for
testing is there,
100
and then
users.
software testing life cycles are there.
So what
In
happens
software testing
now
also, there are two types of
if
software testing.
when I start the test?
One is
Okay, let's
functional
say I
and another
start the
one is
test from
non-functional.
here.
Right.
Okay,
So in
from
next
5
slide
minutes I
we'll
start
talk
the
about
test. If when I start the
this,
test,
right?
if
What
suddenly
is
I
functional and non-functional? So see,
add 100
and
users,
then here we
will it be
come
a load
to
test?
know what is performance testing and JMeter, right? So types of software testing. So we have functional testing
No.
and
That
we
No,
have
only
it
in
will be
spike
more
non-functional
test.
testing.
sort of correct.
Correct.
Correct. It will be more sort of a
Now,
spike test.
what
Okay.
is functional
So what
testing?
I do
So the manual testing that you
rather
must have
than
heard, the
doing this,
functionality testing,
I in
testing
a
the
load
application
test,
from the
we need
point of
to
its
do it
functionality.
gradually.
That
So
is called as
let's
functional
say this
testing.
is 10
Okay,
minutes.
and
Okay, this
functional
is
testing is done using manual way
30 and this is
and
40.
then
Okay.
using automation.
So
You
when
people
what
must
I
have
do
heard
is
of automation,
I
like
reach this 100
manual
users in
testing and
10
automation
minutes
testing. Actually, they are what? Automation testing and manual testing are what?
and then my
They
test
are
runs.
ways. Okay,
Okay.
they are ways
Then let's say
to
this is
do
50.
functional
Okay.
testing.
And
Then
it
same
comes
way
down
we
to
have
60.
non-functional testing.
And
In
I meant
non-functional
comes down
testing,
to 0
what
again.
comes is performance
So my
testing
test will run
and
from
security testing.
10 to
Okay.
50. So around
Security
40
testing is
minutes my
totally different domain. You must have
test is
heard of
in, test is
security.
running.
Now every
Okay.
day
This is
we are
the
talking security,
period
right?
when my
Our phone should
users are
not be
becoming from
hacked.
0 to
Our
100.
mobile
And this
banking
is the
system should not be hacked.
period
That is what
when my
security,
users
right?
are
So it's
becoming from
that is
100
also a
to
part
0.
of testing only. It's a complete
Right. So
different
these three
field.
parts are there, no?
Okay.
This one,
So
this one,
okay, right. So
and this one.
you see, so
Okay.
performance
So these
testing
three
and
parts.
security
This is
testing.
part
So
one,
our course is this
part two,
performance testing. Now, what is
part three
performance
of your
testing?
graph.
It's a type of
Right.
non-functional
These
testing.
three
So you got
parts,
the idea, right? What is performance testing? Now we'll discuss in
you
more
can
detail.
name it. Part
So see,
one is the
when
ramp up
suppose there is a car, right? And
period.
we are
Part two
suppose we are
is the
developing a new
steady
car,
state.
right? A company is developing a new car. So once
Steady
that
state.
is done, developed, one model is developed,
And
it
part
will be used
three
for testing. So there will be two types of testing. One will be
is the
functional testing, where
ramp
it's
down.
each component will
We
be
call it
tested, each
generally. Okay.
functionality will be tested, like whether a door is getting opened correctly or not, whether it is getting
Clear?
shut
So
down or not,
basically, what is
everything,
ramp
right?
up period, steady state,
Each
and
and
ramp
every
down? So the
component,
time
if you test,
for
that
which
will be
so here,
called
if you
functional
see my
testing.
graph, current graph,
But
how much
when
is my
you
ramp up period?
use the
P1.
car, for what purpose it is made, like
How many
you pull
minutes?
in the persons here, right? 6 person
5 minutes.
or 8 person
5
seat
to
will
7.
be sitting here, some loads will be there,
Yeah. So
and
from
then we will
5
run
to
the
10,
car.
I'm going right. So around
10.
5 minutes.
We'll put it on trial, right? That you must have heard of that.
Okay.
um,
And what
uh,
is my steady state?
Testing on the road, right? So that is what performance, correct? Performance. So
10
same
to
way
40.
it goes for an application
40
also.
minutes.
Let us
40
say
minutes. Correct. So it's 40
that
minutes.
if there is an application, suppose
And
we'll take this is
my
the login.
ramp down is
If,
similarly
hope
it's
you guys
10
can
minutes. Okay, we can say
uh,
50 to 60 it is going. So we can
understand
say
like
10
what
minutes
this is,
ramp down.
login page
But
of which
generally ramp
application
up and
anyone
ramp
can
down will
guess.
be same
It's
time.
of
Okay.
our Gmail,
The
right?
ramp down
Where
and
we
ramp
will
up, they
be
don't give
putting the email
separate
ID, password, and then
durations. It
we
will
will be
be
doing
almost
sign in.
similar. Okay, it will be same.
So
So
when
this
suppose
gradual
we have to test
increase.
this,
Okay,
a
now
developer
are
has
you
designed
clear
this
why we are doing this
scenario,
gradual increase
this part,
and why I'm not
this
adding all the
login
users all
thing.
together?
And then tester have to test. Now that's what in the testing we have two things, right? One is functional and
Because
next one
I'm
is
doing a load
non-functional. So in
test.
functional
Okay,
testing,
I'm
what
not
will be
doing a
tested,
spike
like
test,
whether it is
right?
taking correct
So
email
for a
or
load
not.
test, I need
If
to have
incorrect
these
email
components properly.
is given,
Otherwise,
then
it won't be
whether it is
a
throwing
load
error
test,
message or
right?
not, right?
So
Many
that is was
use
what
cases
this ramp
can
up
be there,
period
many
means.
different type of
Getting
test
it,
cases can be there,
everyone?
right? So for each field, for the email field, then for password field, then
Clear?
same way if we are clicking on sign in button, then if sign in is happening correctly or not, right? Like that many.
Right.
So
So
component,
see,
right?
now
Each
this is
thing
the
if you
ramp up
test,
period,
Uh,
right?
that will
can
be
you
a
explain
functional
in
testing, right?
relation
That
to
will
the
be what functional
users?
testing.
Because I think when
And the
number of
same functional
users
testing is done
increases,
using two way. One
so
is
what is
using
the
manual,
relationship
right?
with
Manual way,
Correct. So
or
basically, see now
automation.
if I have
Right?
1,000
You must
users,
have heard of
okay, and
Java
if
with
I give
Selenium,
1,000
Selenium with Java,
seconds
or
as
Selenium
my
with
ramp up
Python. So
period, so
either we
1,000
use
users will
some
be
tool to do
online
this,
after
or
1,000 seconds.
manually
So
we test,
you can say
right?
every 1 second one user will be
So
added.
these two things are actually ways to do the functional
Okay. So
testing
for
of an
example, now
okay.
to
Now,
think it more small, like
for the
if I
same
give
thing, we
10, 10
test
here, so
non-functional. So in
10
that we
users will come
that
online in 10
in
seconds.
non-functional we will be
So
talking
every
about
one
performance
second, one
testing.
user will be
So
added
where we
for
what
10
we
seconds.
in this performance testing what we have to do, we do not have to worry about
Clear?
all this functionality whether it is working or
So
not, because
basically, my
Yep.
here
test will have
the
all the
main
10
focus
users running
is
in 10 seconds.
that means whether it is working or not, that is not
Clear?
the main focus. Main focus is that uh, that
Everyone?
once the
Any
user
queries here?
puts the
Right.
username
So now
and once
next
it put
is
the
loop count. Okay.
password,
So loop
and
count
then once it
also
click on
now
sign
you
in
might
button,
not
then
understand
in
since we are
how
not.
many seconds,
Once we
right? How
have when
many
we run a
seconds the
script, I
login
will
is happening.
show you what this loop count
Okay,
is
so that
and how
time
we
is
control it.
called
Basically, it's
response.
nothing.
In how
Let's
many
say you have a
seconds the
transaction,
login is
first
happening,
transaction, you have the
how
10th
in how much
transaction.
time, right?
So
That is called
from transaction 1 to
response.
transaction 10,
Plus
once it finishes, it's one loop.
how much
Okay.
user,
Then again it
how
can go to
many
the second
user
loop, third loop in
can
that way. How many
do
loops
this
you need to
login
go. That's what
successfully,
this loop count means. Okay. It
okay,
will run
within
for
a
that many
very good
loops.
time frame,
But rather than loops, most of the
right?
time
So
when
that
we
is
run a
called
test
user
or
load.
when you're executing a test,
So this
we will be
our
using
focus should be
something
generally
called
on these two,
specified thread
one
lifetime.
on the time and
Okay,
the
so
user load.
specified
So
thread
that
lifetime is
will
nothing
be
but for
the
how
part
much
of
duration
performance testing,
my test should run. So if
right?
I give,
Same way we have
let's
one more
say,
testing, that is security testing,
60
that is
seconds
totally
here,
different field
so
as I
my
told
test
you.
will run for
So we'll
1
not be
minute.
talking
So
about
my
that
question
here.
for you is my
Right.
ramp up
So
period
same thing. One
included
more
in this
example, like suppose
duration?
there is an online order booking app is
Ideally,
there, right?
no.
Application is there. So let us
So
say
as
when
per
you
JMeter,
Yes.
are placing some order, right? So suppose you have to test the flow,
so
that hey,
let's say, so okay,
user
let
will
me open
be
one scenario
testing,
for you.
user will be placing an order here. So you see, when a customer places an order online, right? Then whether the whether he's getting correct order or not, or whether correct order number or order item is generated or not, this all thing uh, um, every menu, right? If you're clicking on this button or that, whether it is working fine or not, that is what functionality wise we will be testing, right? But when it comes to performance testing, which is a part of what non-functional testing, right? NFT, non-functional testing. So what we will be testing, that whether every process, right, every process in how much time it's done, it's getting done, right? And how much user load, how much users, right? That is what user load can do that operation, can which operation, the booking of the order successfully in a good amount of time, right? So that is what performance testing is. So that's what I have written here, right?
Yeah.
Functional
So
testing,
now let's
two
say
ways
I
to
have
do that,
10 users,
manual
okay,
and
and my
automation.
ramp up
The
period is
automation
10 seconds.
tools,
And
right?
if
Functional
my
testing automation tools
duration
that are
I keep
available
it
in
as
market
15 seconds,
are
okay,
like Selenium,
means like
APM,
my
Cypress
test I will run
Protector,
for
Tosca,
15 seconds.
HPFT,
And
right?
whenever you are
Out of
giving
this AP,
duration,
Selenium
you
is
should
very
take care
famous.
you're giving it
APM is also
infinite.
famous
Okay.
for doing the
It should be like you're
automation
checking mark
testing for
infinite. You
mobile
shouldn't
apps,
give the loop
right?
count
Mobile
here.
apps.
Okay, then
Then few more
your
has
JMeter
came
will
in
get
the
confused.
market, like
So you
Cypress
should give infinite
Protector.
here.
They
It will
have
take
came,
only the loop
Tosca has
count if
came.
you give
This
loop
is
count. Okay. So just click
functional
infinite.
testing tool by HPFT.
Then
It's very long. It's
let's
there
run
in the
for.
market
So
from a
what I have
very
done
long
now, I
period
have
of
chosen
time,
10 seconds and
right?
ramp up period as 10 seconds. 10 users have
Now,
given ramp up period 10 seconds
non-functional
and
testing, right?
total
Performance
test
and
duration I've
security.
given
So
only
we'll be
15
talking about
seconds. Okay,
performance
so
testing. So
let's
what
see.
are the performance testing tools that are available in market? So they are like load runner, stove runner, or it's also called as load runner cloud. We have Silk Performer, New Load, IBM RPT, VAPT, VSTS, Oats, GetLink, Livecust, K6, JMeter. So this is JMeter. This is what we will be learning. So we'll be learning what? We'll be learning how to
So
do
now
the
if you
performance
see,
testing
what's the duration
using
of my
which tool?
test?
Using JMeter tool,
Around 15 seconds. Okay,
right? That will be our
but
course.
um,
You must have heard of like,
is the ramp up
or you
period
must have heard of
included in
courses
that
like
then?
automation, doing
Because
automation
if it
testing
was
No.
using
not included,
Selenium.
it should
The
be
same way
25,
we
right?
have to do performance testing, and performance testing we
So see,
can
now I
only
will show
do
you
by
once
using
more.
some
I'll
tool
start the
only,
test. Okay,
right? So which tool will be using? The
now just
JMeter. You
observe
got
here.
the idea? Using
See, my
JMeter,
seconds have started
we'll
and
be
my
learning
users are
about this
running. See,
tool, and
3,
we'll be
4,
also learning
5,
how the
5,
performance
6,
testing is done
7,
using this tool,
8,
right?
9, 10.
Now,
So basically,
why
what is
JMeter,
happening is
right?
your ramp up
So see,
is also included in your duration.
out of these so many
Getting my point?
tools
So
that I
whenever
have
you are
highlighted,
deciding how much duration my test
there is
should
a
run,
very famous
your
tool
ramp
in the
up period
market
is
called
inside
Loader.
this
It's a
duration. Okay,
performance
it's not
testing tool.
outside. It's
Okay,
included.
it's a very highly featured
Getting
and very
everyone
good
point?
tool in the market. load
This is
runner.
a very important
In
point
short
because
form,
see
it is
now it's
also
only
called as
10 seconds,
LR,
but let's say
correct,
you're running
LR.
a test for 1000 users. So
But
that time
it's a
you will
commercial
give
tool.
the ramp
Now
up
you know what
periods
is the
in
meaning of
uh,
commercial. Commercial
like
means
five, maybe
paid,
sometimes there are some tests where you ramp up the
right?
users
Paid.
only one user in 5
Now what
seconds,
is
so
meaning of
it will be
paid?
around
To
5000
use
seconds.
this
So
tool
5000
to
seconds if
do
you
the
see,
performance testing,
it's almost
you have to purchase, right?
like
You
an
have to
hour, okay,
purchase. That is what paid,
right? So
and it comes very
that's
costly.
that long your test will be,
Okay? Even
and
the
maybe your
license
test will be
or the
test
price
duration what
comes
you're
very
expecting, like
costly,
your steady state is
right?
1 hour, okay.
And
So what
it
you
is
will do,
from
you will give
Microfocus, the company which owns Loadener, right?
3600 a
Is
year, or like let's say
Microfocus.
you give it for
Now
around 5
coming to
1500 a year,
JMeter,
okay. But what will happen,
the
5000
JMeter, that's
seconds
what we will
itself
be
will go
learning.
in ramp up, and
It's a
your test will
purely
run only
open
for
source
500
tool.
seconds at 1000
Now will
users.
ask me what is the meaning of
So
open
you
source
should be
here.
careful
Open
about
source
that,
means
okay, everyone clear
just
what I
That
now
meant?
means if
for
I
now
want
you
to go
think
with
open
30
source means
minutes of
free.
my steady state, then my
Yeah,
duration should be
Means
steady
you
state
do not
plus
have
ramp
to
up time,
pay
is it?
anything to
correct,
anyone to
yes, yes,
use
correct.
this.
Okay.
Yeah,
Plus
and
there is
ram
no
down, no need.
other
Ram
open
down, no
source
need to
tool in
worry.
the market
Generally,
to
it
challenge it.
happens quickly in JMeter.
In the
So
market, in the
if you
IT
want to
world,
ram down it
there is no
slowly,
other
there
open
are
source tool
different ways to
which
do
can
that.
challenge
But
this JMeter.
basically, what happens in JMeter
Right?
is
You'll
ram
ask
down
me,
happens
load runner
quickly,
can
and ram
challenge
down
this,
generally
but
it
load
doesn't
runner
matter
is a
because our
paid
test
tool,
would have
right?
been
It's a paid
completed.
tool,
Why we
and it's
do
a very
ramp up
good tool
slowly?
compared to JMeter,
Is that
but
part clear
it's
to all?
a paid tool. JMeter is
Like why? What is
open
the
source tool,
background reason why we ramp
and
up
there is
slowly?
no other open source tool, right? No other open source tool in the market which can challenge it.
Any
That is the
guess?
beauty, or that is the popularity of JMeter. That's why we
Yeah,
use it.
don't
Correct.
want to overload the
Now,
server, right?
if you ask me what
Correct.
about
So see,
others.
nowadays,
So see,
for
all
example,
these
I'm
tool
saying
like load
nowadays
runner,
most of the
storm
servers
runner,
are on cloud and they have
performer,
some
new load,
settings like
IBM
auto
RPT,
scaling and all. So
WAPT,
if you
VSTS,
suddenly push
OATS,
the users, that auto
right?
scaling might
Until
fail, or
Gatling.
we can say, so we are
These
not
all
doing
are
any failover
paid
testing,
tool
or
only.
we are not doing any test where we are finding the error in the auto scaling, but
Okay.
we are doing a load
Gatling
test, right? So we
is
need to
half
understand at
paid
this load, at
and
1000
half
users
open
load,
source.
whether my system is able to
Half free, half paid.
perform properly
So
the
we'll
response
consider
time
it
and
paid
all.
one.
But if
This
I push
Lucust
the
and
users all
K6,
1000
they
together,
are
auto
free,
scaling will fail. My test will,
but
so it will be more
their
sort of like
feature
a
is
functional,
less
like an auto
costing,
scaling test, not a load test, because
and
our
you have to know
objective is load
programming
test there.
to
Okay,
use them.
so
Even the
that's
Gatling,
why
the
we go
Lucust,
for
and the
a
K6,
gradual
to
increase of
use
users
them, you
so
have
that
to know
we don't
programming,
flood the servers
coding.
with very heavy number of
Uh,
users and the server
get
fails.
to
We don't
use.
do that. Okay,
I
so
forgot. It's
we
not
need to go
coming in
slowly,
mind.
but
But
when we ramp down, okay,
for
that
to
issue
use
won't come.
Locust,
Okay,
you
when
have
you
to know
ramp down,
Python.
uh,
Yeah.
99%
Then
of time,
yeah, to
performance
use
wise there won't
Gatling,
be any issues because our
you have
test
to
would
know
have been
Scala.
completed by
Scala
that
is
time.
a
Okay,
language,
so we
a
are not
Java language only, a
anyway,
Java
the
extended
results
language.
which are coming after that
And to
duration
use
won't be
K6, you have to
included in
know
our report.
Java script,
Okay, so ramp down is not that of a big deal there.
right? So
Okay,
it's
only
a
ramp up is the
coding
uh,
dependency, and hence their
uh,
popularity is not that
what we
much
can
good,
say, it's a duration
and
which we
their
are
feature
very
is
much
also not that much
we need to be
claimed.
careful. Okay,
And others are paid.
So,
So which
Vishnu,
tool
there's
is
no
left now?
option
Our
in
JMeter.
case, right, if you want to
So
specify
in
to
you'll
ramp
ask
down
me
a
to
period
use
as
JMeter,
well, right? In case
do
of
we
any
do not
specific
need any
scenarios, we do
language?
not
No.
have any option here,
To
right? So
use
how do
JMeter
we
for
do that? Or
80%,
is
right?
it gonna
Let us
consider
say
whatever we give as part of ramp
80%
up, it's
users
gonna
of
consider the same for
JMeter do
ramp
not
down as
need
well?
any coding,
no,
no
actually see
coding,
the ramp
no
up period
language.
you can give. Generally the
Fine.
ramp down period which
Only in
JMeter chooses is 0
20% of
seconds.
cases
I
you
mean,
have to
it
know
will
coding.
quickly
And which coding? Java.
ramp down what all users are there
So
to the
I'll be covering.
like
We
zero.
have
It's
a
that's the
detailed
standard mark
uh,
which is being set.
use
Okay,
cases where coding will be
Okay,
used,
got it.
right?
yeah.
So this is the course content. Let me take you to
But there are some ways. Okay,
from here,
sorry,
right?
who
From
asked the
day
question? I didn't see the
some day
name.
It's
40
Soumya.
something.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
sorry, I'm a bit
hi
of a
Vallabh,
relative of
Vijay
voice to
here.
everyone's. So yeah.
Yeah, just a
So,
second. Let
so
me finish.
basically, you can
So
I
ramp
from
have
day
down.
a
Okay,
40,
there
query.
are
if you
some plugins
yeah,
for
just a
that,
second. Let me
which
Yeah,
we will
finish.
see.
So
There is something
from day
called
40,
the
if you see
standard set plugin.
JMeter and
Okay,
BeanShell and understanding
basically,
with
when
respect
we
to
see the
Java
plugin manager,
with
that time we will
real-time
see
use
different
case,
types of
right? So
plugin.
that
So
20%
plugins are
case where
basically in
we have to use
JMeter which
coding,
allow us to
that also
enhance the
I'll be covering,
functionality of
right? You
JMeter,
see
because
so
generally
many
what
use cases
JMeter
are there.
package
You can
gives
read
us
if you
is
wish.
not
You can
most of the
pause the
time
video. You
enough
can
for
read
us. So there
all
are some
the real-time
needs
use
to enhance
cases
those
which
features.
you will be
So
facing
that's
in
why
most of the
we use
project
something
is
called a standard set
covered,
plugin,
right?
where we
I think
can
four
give
to
the ramp
five
down
days
period also. Okay.
5 days are there.
Or even
Right? So that is
even sometimes that plugin is called stepping
that
thread
is
group.
what,
Like
right?
you can step down the
So
thread groups
so
one by one.
that is
So
about
it is one
that is
scenario. We
about
will
the
see when
JMeter,
we go
and
to
hence
that.
the
I
JMeter
will.
is getting
Anyways, it's
popular.
good
You
because
get the point.
since you brought
Now
that
no
point,
one
I
wants
will
in the
try
market.
to cover that.
No one wants you
So
hope you
because
people have
it's
heard of
not there
cost
in our
cutting.
course, but I will cover that.
Cost
Not an
cutting.
issue.
Cost
Because most
cutting
of the
means
time
now
people go with
company
zero.
are
But
looking
okay,
for
Okay.
like you are interested in to
alternative,
know
like
like
free
how we
alternative.
can ramp down in
So
some
as I
time
said, all these
because
tools
it's good
are paid tools.
in
Loader is
some
very
cases.
highly
Like
featured tool,
for
but it's a
example,
paid tool. So company are
let's say
looking
you have
for
some
some
three
open
thread
source
groups
tool,
or four thread groups.
and
Okay,
hence the
that's a
JMeter
scenario
comes in
which generally
picture,
happens. Like four thread
and
groups are
hence
there.
the
You want to
popularity of
start
JMeter is
the other thread group after
increasing,
this one
job is
ends.
increasing.
Okay,
Right?
so
That
now
is
what will
what.
happen is if
Same
you ramp
example I'll give
down
you. See,
your users
in functional testing world, right?
suddenly
In automation
and you
testing,
start your
first
another thread group
HPFT came in the market.
simultaneously, so that will sometimes create
This
server issues.
HPFT was a paid tool,
Getting your
commercial
point,
tool,
Somi?
right? But
Yes,
earlier,
yes,
this
Vishnu.
tool
That
only
is the
came in
reason
market,
I
and
was
people
curious
and the
about
company
Ramdown
were
as well
using
because
this
we have
very
faced that
widely.
Correct.
issues
Yeah.
earlier. So
But
So
from
whenever you
last
have
10
one
or
thread
12
group,
years,
this
Selenium
works
came in
fine.
market.
Okay, there won't be, and
Selenium
generally
is
there will be only
open
one thread
source
group only. But
functional
when you are
testing
going for
automation tool,
multiple thread group, like a
and now
step
it
test
has
or some step
picked the
down test
market.
and all, so that time
Selenium
you will
is
have
like market is
to
full of Selenium
worry
requirements,
about the
and now
ramp down. But that
HPFT is going.
also can be handled.
Okay,
You can
it's
give a
almost
delay.
very use
Okay, so delay
very
means like
less
before. See,
usage is
there's a
there.
startup delay also.
let's,
So
Okay, so
same
yes.
before you start a
same
test, you
here.
can give a delay.
Okay, same case here.
But yeah, since you want to explicitly give
JMeter is a
the ramp
open
down,
source tool
we can do
for
that.
doing
Okay, I
the
will show you
performance
how we
testing,
do that.
Sure.
and there is no other
Yeah.
open source tool to
Okay.
challenge it.
So
And hence, in IT
yeah, so that's
industry,
about the
IT
thread
Vishnu,
group.
companies are looking
so
for
I
Yeah.
have a doubt. Like,
JMeter,
see,
and hence the
you have
requirement
specified
job
number of threads
is
here as 1,000
increasing,
and ramp
and that's why
period, right?
popularity of the
So
JMeter
what
is
you
also
said is like when
increasing,
you specify the
right?
thread time as 5,500,
Yeah,
you
and
said we
just for
might
an
get only
information,
500
security testing tools in market are
milliseconds
like
for running
Metasploit, Burp
the
Suite, Nexon, Sonarchy.
the
Yeah.
These
functionalities,
tools
right?
comes for
Yeah.
security testing.
Yeah. So my question is
Okay,
like
what was the question?
during the creation of the users, won't they start executing the functionality?
Yeah.
They will. So, but
Hi.
generally,
Well,
what happens,
Vijay here.
when you generate a report,
Uh,
you will choose the time
you told
frame
that
of
load runner
that
and a
1 hour. That's
JMeter,
steady
but
state
still
only.
most of the companies are
Okay.
going
Okay, you
with
will
load
not
runner
include
still.
your ramp
So
up and
what
ramp down.
was, is
So
there
there is a
any
filter,
Okay.
right? So
more
when you're generating a
advantages
report or a response
over
time, average response time,
JMeter
average
in
is
load runner?
average is for a
Though
specific
it is
period,
a
right? So that
paid
period
paid
I
tool,
will
right?
choose which period,
Well,
right?
that's
Why the
what I have
people are still
already explained.
preferring that one
Okay.
than to go for a JMeter?
Right. So see,
Yep.
so I will
And
choose
Mm-hmm.
only the period
what you
when the
have to
users are all running,
understand,
1,000 seconds,
it's a highly
1,000 users,
featured tool.
not
Load runner is a highly featured tool.
from the point where it was one user.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
so
Okay,
got
some of
it.
the features are not available
Yeah.
in JMeter, you mean to say?
Anyone
many
else?
features are not available
Any
in
question?
JMeter from load runner, but you have to pay.
Oh, okay, okay,
Right.
So those
So
company
let's go
which do
to
okay,
the
not want
next
okay.
to
part.
pay, they will
Let
go for JMeter.
let me close this one.
This HPFT still it's more feature. It's having more feature than Selenium. Okay, but HPUT this HPEFT is also used. It's not like
Vishnu,
it's not
one
being
more
used.
question actually.
Yeah.
But where
Okay.
the
Yeah.
requirement
So there is a
of
one time
HPUFT is
delay
there, which cannot
parameter,
be
right? What is the
satisfied using
significance
Selenium,
of that?
people are using HPUFT. But to
Time delay
use
inside thread group.
HPUFT, it's a paid tool. They have
Yeah.
to pay.
Yeah, another thread group.
So those who can afford, they will
Yeah.
buy.
So
I
see,
was not able to understand.
Or those work which cannot be
which
done using
option?
Selenium,
This
they will
one
go
or this
with
one?
HPUFT. Same
No,
here.
startup delay, sorry.
The
Startup delay
Yeah.
in
price is
seconds.
Yeah.
high.
So see,
Plus
now
those
let's
work
say I have
which
some
cannot
five
be
thread
done
groups.
using
Okay.
JMeter, those people are
I have one more
going and
thread group.
looking for load runner. The
Okay, let
big
me
big
duplicate
companies
this. So like this.
like
And if I
Accenture,
want to start this
okay,
thread group,
very widely company
like
which
this
use
test is
load runner.
done. Okay. Then after some
Okay, they
minutes,
are
the
still
next
Yes,
thread
using
group
load
should
runner.
start.
yes,
Same here.
Kolaba.
So
Now,
what I can do, I can give a startup
okay,
delay.
okay.
Startup delay means this
Now
after
the
this many
situation
seconds
is
only this
almost
test will
every
start
business will
executing.
go for the
So
JMeter.
that startup delay is not
We supposed
included
to
in your
learn the
duration.
JMeter.
Okay.
That is
Yeah,
my
yeah,
Okay,
opinion.
okay.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
that's a good point. Thanks
Yeah,
for
yeah,
giving
yeah.
the
That's
point
Great.
the
on that
example
because
I'm
I
saying.
left to say that point. So startup delay will not be included in your duration.
You have
Okay,
to
yeah.
learn
Okay,
both,
and
Thank you,
but
if
Vallabh.
that much
they
time
start with
or minutes,
JMeter
it will
if
stop. Like it
anyone
will
wants,
stop means like the
because
test will not run.
now the
Okay,
market,
Why
the
after
now
that much
JMeter
time
is
only the
going to
next
take
thread
the
group will
market.
start. This one.
like how Selenium did. That's what example I'm saying. Earlier HPFT was a tool for doing automation testing, but it was a paid tool.
It's clear,
Now
Ram.
its
Okay.
market is
Thank you.
almost
Yeah.
gone, and
Okay.
Selenium is very famous.
What about
Selenium
that
is
three
open source.
checkboxes? There
But
are same
it's not
user
like
on
that
each iteration, delay
HPFT is
thread
not being used to do
creation. But
functional
can you
testing.
explain
It
that
is
one?
used, okay,
Yes, yes,
but
yes.
not by
Checkbox.
Sure.
all
See,
company.
basically,
Uh,
these
right,
two
where
options, the
requirement
action
will
to
be
be
there
taken
like that.
after sampler and these three options, I
Same
will
case.
show you when we run
Okay.
like when we execute a script, because that way
Okay.
it will be more clearer. If I explain it now, you might not.
So could you
It will be
just
little
brief out
jumping over
something
the
like
wall. Okay,
highly
so
featured
let's
means
come
what is not
when we
there in the
see the
JMeter,
execution. Okay,
That
which is there in the
that you
load
will
what
not
runner,
get
gets done,
now.
right?
column?
Yeah,
You will
fine.
not get the idea now
With the
until and
example,
unless
it
you
will be
learn.
more clear.
Hmm? What is there,
Okay.
what is not there, you will not get any idea. For
Yeah.
that, you have to
So
learn both
now
tool,
in the
then you will get
thread
the
group,
idea.
after thread group, there are
Okay.
different elements, okay,
Okay.
inside
Okay.
JMeter. There are samplers, there are logic
Yeah. Thank
controllers,
you.
there are pre-processors,
Okay.
post-processors, assertions,
Okay,
timer,
fine. Then
test
going forward, so
fragment,
see
config
any
element,
deviation,
and
there are two
listeners. Okay, so
keywords. There are
the
few
each
keywords
of
we
them
use
have
in performance
different
testing world.
purpose.
So in
Okay,
functional testing,
so
if there is any deviation from
if you see, you'd have
expected
heard
requirement, or if there is
like
any issue,
people
that is known
saying
as
this
defect or bug.
protocol.
In
How
non-functional
many of
testing,
you are
okay,
aware
if
what
any
does this
deviation is
protocol
there,
mean?
if we find
Like
any
generally,
issue,
what is
then
this?
we will be
What do we
using a
say?
term
Like if
called
it's a
bottleneck.
HTTP
Fine. So
protocol,
in
or we say
performance
it's
testing,
a
we'll be called
uh,
using a term called
uh,
bottlenecks.
JDBC
In
protocol. So
security
what are
testing,
these
will be
protocols?
there is a term called vulnerabilities. So these are few
What do they
keywords
mean?
that
Any
is
guess?
used in testing world, specific to their field. Correct.
Communication
Then why
mechanism,
performance
set
testing,
of rules
right?
and
Correct.
Or
guidelines.
need of performance
Yes. So
testing,
it's more sort of a
right? Okay,
communication
last.
mechanism. See
So
now,
obviously, see,
uh, it's more sort of like,
it
see,
will
now
help
if you're sending a
us
furniture, you may go
uh,
for packers and movers, okay.
from
But if you're
loss of
sending some
revenue,
letter,
loss
you
of
will go with
customer,
the
loss of
postal,
productivity,
right? The
right?
common postal method.
It will
So
help us
based on
from
what you
getting
are
a
sending,
brand
there are different
damage, right?
medium of sending it,
So if
right?
you see this
So
guy,
protocol can be
right?
thought more sort of
Now
like that
let
in the
me go
network.
to next
Okay,
slide.
it's
So
network
see,
protocol basically.
suppose there are
It's
today
a
world
set
is
of
a world
some
of
rules, okay.
competitors.
So like let's say if I get
Even
some,
yeah.
if I get furniture, so this
So
it has to be
today world
packed
is world of
with some bubble
competitors.
wrap, it has to be
Okay.
put in a box, it has to be sent
Now
in a
let us
bigger
say
truck. Okay,
so
this is a
many
set of
e-commerce
rules
sites
which
are
it's
there.
set. Now if I get a
Now
small
Meesho
letter,
has also came.
I need
Meesho,
to put it in an envelope,
Meesho is getting very famous,
then
right?
wrap, I don't need to
So
wrap
suppose
that, okay, I just give,
Amazon.com
I
is
just
there,
need to
and it's
hand over
very
it to the
slow,
postman.
or it's very
It
poor,
can
it's
come in
taking
some
very high
air or
time
somewhere, okay,
to do
that's
anything.
again with the
So
respect to the
will
letter.
the
So
customer
see,
will
now the
use it?
rules are changing
No,
for
right?
based on what the
Customer will
product
not be happy.
or
He will
what
not
I
come
have to
again.
send, right?
He will visit another website.
Similarly,
So he'll
so
visit
these
these
rules
websites,
are properly written and planned and executed inside a network
right?
protocol. So for example, if I get a data, like
So that's why
if I
we
am
do
sending a
performance
data,
testing.
okay, I have a JDBC
If we do
request or a
performance testing
JDBC
of our
protocol, we can
application, we will
so
be
call it.
able to know
So a
that where is the
database
problem.
request, like how the
When the
database
real customer
communications
will
happen,
start using
that's
my
more sort of the
application, what
JDBC.
problem they will
Okay.
be facing
Similarly,
in terms
FTP
of
is there.
performance.
FTP is
So
used
to
for
get the
file
idea
transfer. So if
before
you're sending a file, okay,
before the
you
real
use a
people
FTP
start
request. Now
using
if
that,
you
right?
have some
Uh,
like the web
to
services, right,
find out
generally
what
most of the
problem
it's
they,
a
what
HTTP
performance
request,
problem they
okay,
can face,
hypertext transfer protocol we
we
call
will
it,
be
right?
doing
So
performance test
similarly,
from our side,
based on what you
right?
send, okay,
The
what
application
type of data you are sending,
first.
different protocols are there. So
What are
if you
the
see
symptoms of
now, my question for
what are
you
the
all
symptoms that
is,
show whether
now
application
why
is
then we
behavior
say like
is
there are some tools it
poor, right?
doesn't
So
support
you'll
this
see it's
protocol, but there
slow
are
to
some tools
respond,
this
it will
supports
stuck
this
while
protocol. Like for
browsing.
example, load
You'll
runners
see errors like
doesn't support few of the protocols
internal
which
server
JMeter
error,
supports,
bad
or
gateway error, gateway
even
timeout error,
there are some
server is
tools
down
like
error,
Gatling, which
server
is
not
open source
on,
again,
service
which
temporary
has
unavailable
many
error, like
protocols which
this
the
kind of
JMeter
symptoms
doesn't,
you'll see.
like which Gatling doesn't support. Okay, so why do we say that? Like what?
So there
Why
are
does
some
this
real
happen?
time
Because
examples.
that data processing
uh,
which happens by the protocol, the tool
um,
which you're using also has to do.
suppose
Okay, it also
where
needs to
some
know to
losses has
handle this
occurred
type of
because
request. Okay, so that
when the
code has to
people
be
were
there in the
using
backend. the JMeter
due
code.
to
Okay,
poor
so
performance of the
that's why
application, right? So some real-time
every tool
example I have
cannot
given.
handle all
Suppose
the
one
protocols,
example, let
and
us say
also your
that
tool can't make out
Amazon,
what
right? Our
protocol you are
Amazon
trying
server,
to test.
our
That
Amazon
has to
dot
be
com.
defined by
So
you.
in
Okay,
2013,
and especially
the
when you're
application
doing
server
some
was not
when you're
working for
using some
30
load
minutes.
runner and all,
Means the application was not
when
working.
you're
People
recording
were
itself,
not
you need
able
to
to
choose
buy
like what
anything,
protocol
or
you're
they
choosing.
were not able to
Anyone
do anything. So as a
is
result
aware
of
about
that,
load runner?
at
Like use
Amazon
load
lost
runner
this
already?
many per second. Correct? Like this way how
Okay,
the
so see,
losses
basically
happen. Same
there
way
when
it
you're
happened in
recording
India
something, no,
also. When
in the
Flipkart, right?
initial
Flipkart,
stage
it
itself
was
we
the
choose
first
what type of
company
protocol
which
we are going
hosted
to
big
record and
billion
all.
day
Okay,
sale
but
in
in
India,
JMeter you
right?
don't
Big
need
billion
to
day
do
sale
that.
means what?
You can directly
Discounted
record,
sale,
start
right?
recording it, and
So the
JMeter will
first
figure out
company
what
to
type of request it was. Okay,
offer discounted sale. So they
so
offered first
sampler is
discounted
basically
sale in
protocol.
October
Okay, so that way you can
2014,
remember
right?
sampler. So
And at
sampler
that time
basically
they were
allows
selling
JMeter
even a very good product
to
like a
send
good
some
trimmer,
request
a
to the
good
server.
mobile,
Okay,
Redmi mobile in
so
rupee
samplers are
1.
for
So
sending a
you
specific
see,
request to a server. So
now
based on what
what
request
happened
it is,
on
you
that
choose
day?
different samplers. Like there are
Suppose
HTTP
they were
requests. There
expecting
is
that only
so
10
what
lakh
are the
people
common
will come.
samplers we generally
But
test?
since
Okay,
they were
there is
selling a
HTTP request. It is
very
for
good
testing the
products
web
in rupee 1,
services. There is
right?
FTP
More
request.
than 10 lakh people
It is for
came,
testing some
and the
file
application
transfer,
could not
upload,
handle, right?
download, and
Because
all
of that,
those options.
you
Then
see,
JDBC
heading
request.
arrived.
It's for testing the
Uh,
databases and all.
there was
Then
a
there is a
loss,
Java
right?
request and the
The
SOAP XML
customers were
request
unhappy,
and even the
right? So
RPC
like
requests
that's
are
why
there.
before
Okay,
real customer,
and even
real people use
SMTP
the
sampler. Okay,
application,
SMTP sampler is
we
very
should get
useful
our
sometimes for
we should
testing
get the
mail server.
performance testing done,
Uh, it's a mail transfer protocol
okay,
basically for sending
using tools,
emails.
so that
Okay,
we
so
should be
SMTP
ready,
is used for that.
we should be aware. That's why
Now, if
we
I
do
show you
performance testing.
the HTTP request, which is a very common request which we generally
Now what
use.
is
Okay,
performance testing, right? So it's basically it is basically putting
so
user
now
load
whenever
on
you
an
have a
application
request,
and
okay, there
testing
are
its
different
behavior generally
components
in
to
terms
that
of
request,
response time. That's what
especially
I
when it's a
highlighted,
web service.
right?
So let me open a website.
Finding the response time and how many number of users supported. That is what user load, correct? And some other factors. In other terms, you see, performance testing is used to test speed, response time, stability, reliability, scalability, and resource usage of the software application under certain workloads or certain user loads. Certain user loads. Wait. What are the main objective of performance testing? So there are four main objective of doing the performance testing: speed, stability, scalability,
There is something
reliability.
called a dev tools
So
also. I will
in
show you
speed,
that.
what we test that
When
how
I am
fast
doing
the
this inspect
application
element now, you can
how
use that
fast
one
it's
also.
responding. In stability, what we will be testing that suppose we are using the application for a very long period, right? Continuously we are using. So whether its performance is getting degraded or whether it is breaking somewhere or is it
Let me
stable?
show you.
That's what we test. Then scalability, right? So in scalability, we will be testing like uh, uh, suppose extra user comes, right? That's what the Flipkart example that I have given. If extra user come, so whether my application performance is getting degraded or is it able to handle the extra user, correct? And then reliability. So reliability is where we will validate that whether the application is reliable, right? Uh, Under prolonged period of high user traffic. So what is the meaning of this is like suppose many huge number of people are using, so whether the application is serving them correctly or not, right? So that is what
Yes, there are some more.
uh,
Yeah,
uh,
that's fine. Let's see it later.
right, so that is what this reliability.
So see, now I am upload or like I'm starting a
So
website.
these are the four
Okay, there is a
objective of
request
doing the
which I
performance
send.
test.
Like see that request here. So now if I just copy this, okay, So in that request, is my screen visible, like
Okay,
or
then
the fonts are
need a
small?
performance testing tool, right? Why we need the
Yeah,
performance
please
testing tool?
increase your font
Let
size.
me-
Yeah, is it clear, visible now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So see now,
So
let's
see,
say I'll
suppose
just open a
let us
product
say
here.
there is an application, suppose Flipkart or something or Amazon, right? Anything, suppose Amazon, or you have developed a small e-commerce website,
Right.
let us say,
See now
and you want to
this is the
get it
request
tested
which
in
I am
terms of
trying to do. Now,
performance.
if you try to
So
understand
there
the
are two ways.
request, okay,
Either you
this
can
is the
do
request. So
get
let
it
me
done
copy the
using
value.
manual way or through using a tool. Whenever we get things done using a tool, it is called automation, right?
Now, in
Automation.
this request
So using
URL, we
manual
call it,
way,
this is
let
the
us say,
request
suppose you
URL.
have to
Okay,
test the
in the
performance
request
of
URL,
your
there are
application
different
for
components.
1000
This
users.
is the protocol which we are
So
using.
what you will do?
Here, if you see,
You will
there is one
hire 1000 people.
HTTPS. What do we mean by
You will
HTTPS?
get
Anyone?
them 1000 laptops or personal computers. Then uh, then you will ask them
HTTPS
to,
means there is
hey,
an SSL certificate
there will be
issued for that
coordinator,
domain. Okay,
and
so that's what this means,
he will ask
HTTPS.
everyone to
Now, after that,
start browsing the
after the
application,
protocol,
start doing
whatever we
something on the
have,
application
this one,
at the
okay,
same time,
this is called the
right?
domain
And
or
in
the
that
server
way,
IP,
you
or
will be
we can call
observing
it the
like what
server
is
name.
happening on the
Okay, server
application
name,
side,
domain
right?
name,
Application
IP, different names are there for
side.
this.
And that way you
Okay, so
can
this
find
is
out the
this
performance.
till this. Okay,
But
only the
this is not realistic,
Amazon.com or
right?
um, Isha.com
How
or
let
like
us say suppose for
Citibank.com or
1000
whatever.
you can
So
do
whatever
manually, but let us say suppose you
is
have
there,
to
the domain,
test for
only that
5000
much is called the
users.
domain. Okay, so here if I divide it,
So from where you will bring 5000 people? From where you will bring
this is my
5000 laptops,
server name
PCs? Unrealistic.
slash
So this is
domain,
where the tools comes in picture. Performance testing tools
domain.
comes in picture. Now will ask me what tool
I
do,
can
right?
give
So
IP
like how
address
the
also.
real
Sometimes it
user
could be IP
do the
address
activity on
sometimes
the
rather than
application, in the
this
same
name.
way
Okay,
performance testing
and
tools
after that,
also they
whatever is there,
simulate the real
from
user
starting from the
behavior
slash, okay,
on the
whatever is
application,
there,
like browsing the web page, login, submitting an order, etc. So they can also do. And then
okay,
generating a
till
desired user
this
load means desired user
question
load means
mark
100 user or 1000 user or 5000 user or 10,000 user load they can
is
generate,
generally called the
right?
path.
So they will be doing the
So
same
the path
activity the
basically,
real
okay,
user will
starting
be
from
doing,
the
plus they
slash, okay,
can generate
is called the path.
user
So
load, a number of user load
now
on the
after that, whatever is there is
application.
called the
So
filter
there is no
basically. See,
need of
whenever
bringing the
you
real
have the path
users, right?
ending, so after this path
And
ends, there is
likewise
one
in the
question mark
real
here. See,
how the
so
real
that question
user
mark are
do
they
these
basically
tools
different
also send a
filters,
request,
different
uh,
parameters
and
being
they receive the
applied
response
to
from
that
the
path.
servers,
Okay,
correct?
so you can call it filter
And
or a
plus
parameter. Okay,
in
whatever you
addition
want.
to
Now, if I
this,
go
right,
to JMeter,
this tool
same
can
thing you can
calculate the
find it
time
inside your
taken.
HTTP request.
That is what
You have
the
the protocol, you have the
suppose the
server name
response
or
is
the
coming, right?
IP,
So
you
how
have the
much
port
time
number
it's
region.
taking, that
Most
is
sometimes, okay,
response time they
sometimes
can calculate, plus other
some
performance
websites
matrices
have
they
like
can
this also. You would
calculate,
have
right?
seen
That is why the tools comes in picture, right?
some port
Okay.
number will be there after a colon. Okay, so this port number is nothing but this port number.
See, whenever
So
real
if I
user
have the
are
port number, I
using
can give that port
application,
number here.
they're
Then the what type
called
of
real
request that
users.
will come back. Okay, then the path. Path we know. What is the path here? Path is this one.
Okay.
Okay,
So see,
and what is the
whenever
server name?
real users are
Server
using
name
the
is this one.
application, they are
Right,
called real users.
what is the
But
content
when the
encoding? This is
users
generally
are
UTF-8 and
generated
all, but
by
you
tool,
don't need to worry about that.
correct?
Automatically, if during
When
the
the
recording
users
it
are
will come.
generated by tool,
If at all some
they are
problems
called
come only, you
virtual.
might have to change it to some
Hmm?
some different
They are called
content, but
virtual,
most of the time that error you won't get. Okay,
right? V
then there are
users
parameters. Okay,
or virtual
different
users,
parameters.
correct?
Basically, parameters is
V
what this filter is.
users or virtual users.
This filter is what
Fine.
the parameters are.
Then what performance
Right,
testing tool do?
so
So just now, as I told, that they simulate the real
and there
user
are different
behavior
options
in the
also
form of
here, which is basically
scripting.
redirect
Then
automatically, then
they
follow
generate the user
redirects,
load generation,
then
right,
use keep
in the form
alive,
of
and
virtual
these are
users.
some
And then they get
like
the test
keep the
statics and
default values,
results, right?
don't
It
change
captures
those
the
for now.
test statics
These we
and
will see
results.
when we go for execution. That time it will be more clear what are these values one by one. um, and this one is most of the time not used, we don't use it much. Even the second one, this one, these two options are we need to play around based on whatever request we have. Okay. Now let's understand what is this HTTP request method. Okay. Are you seeing here different methods? See, now this is what method is this one?
Get.
Correct. So it's a get method. Now in get method,
Now, why we
is
will
there
be
anything
learning
which you
JMeter?
send
So
to the
till now,
server?
hope
Any
you
data?
people have
I
got
mean,
the idea what is
do
performance
you
testing, right?
push any
And
data
then what
to
is
the server,
JMeter, correct?
or you do
Now,
only
why
read?
we will be learning JMeter? I have almost explained why there is a popularity of JMeter, even though there are some
It's a
points
kind of
like
read,
it's a
but
purely
yes,
open
at
source
times we
performance
see
testing tool
usernames,
currently in the
passwords
market,
being sent
right?
in the GET
It
request,
is
which is
free
not
to
secure
use, no
though.
license needed.
Correct.
It's
So
very
basically,
easy and
but we
light
are
to use
not
tool, only
pushing
130 MB
anything
of
to the
file.
database. We are just reading
It
it,
just
right?
download and
We are
use
just
tool.
sending the data
It
and
requires
we are reading it. We
coding
don't
only in
push anything to the
20% of
database.
cases.
So that
That also I
happens
have
only in
explained.
post. Okay,
It can be
that's why
integrated
whenever you
with
have a
many
get
other tools
request,
like
in
Jenkins,
body you
Maven,
will not have
InfluxDB, AppDynamics, Dynatrace,
like
etc.
body will be empty. So body is
Market
nothing
trend
but
for
this
JMeter
payload
tool
here.
is
Okay,
increasing.
this will be empty
Market
in get
demand,
request.
right?
Now put
Market
request,
demand.
post request. So
Uh,
post request, if I have to show
and
you
that's why
here,
job for JMeter trained
I will
person is
have
also
to
increasing.
maybe log in.
Industry, IT industry is also
Some
moving
action
towards
I
full
need to
stack
do like
QA.
that. Okay,
What is
let's
this
go
full
for
stack
that
QA?
JPEG store. Okay.
Like
So,
nowadays,
Vishnu, sorry to
after
interrupt,
let
but
us say
before
you are
moving
there
on
in
to
IT
post, right, I
and you
have a
have
quick
around
question. Can
7
you go back
to
to
8 years
JMeter
of
tool?
years
Yeah.
of experience,
Yes. Yes.
you
Yeah.
should know
See,
you
for
should know
GET
manual
request,
testing,
there will be no data that is being
you should do
sent,
Right.
right?
automation
So,
testing,
Yes. Yes.
and you
so
should do performance
from
testing. You
the
should be
request
able
that
to
you have
know,
copied,
you should know
there
all those
are
three
filters, right?
thing of
Yes. Correct.
uh,
So, where do we
all
keep
this
them as part of
Yeah. So
body
basically,
data?
see,
all these
correct.
types
Correct.
of
So
testing.
whenever you have a get
So
request,
let
you
us
put it
say
in
if there is a
parameters.
manual tester guy,
Huh.
so he must know at
Yeah, that
later
I will show
point
you. Okay, that I will
in
show
his
you.
career after
Okay.
3 years, 4 years, he should do performance. He should learn
Then
performance
now
testing
let's
to
understand
survive.
what's a
Okay,
post
to
request. Okay.
survive.
So let me give you
Same
an
way, if there
example
is a
of JPEG store.
automation tester guy, so he always anyhow he know the manual testing. He must know performance testing. Reverse can also happen. If you are starting for performance testing, after 6 years, 7 years, you must also learn automation testing. Okay, to survive. So when you know all these things, you are called full stack, right? This is also good for developers to test their code for load and stress testing. They can do. Now, these are the features of JMeter. So JMeter is fully capable of testing the performance testing of HTTPs, web
Right.
application,
See now
web
catalog.action,
services,
if you see
REST and SOAP
here, it's a
APIs,
get request.
database,
But
DB queries,
account.action, if you see,
okay,
which is a login which I did, is a post request.
UI or page
Now,
load
if I
testing
go to the
using
payload
JMeter
here,
and
okay, first
Selenium
I will show you the
WebDriver,
get request payload.
FTP server, file upload and download, SMTP server, email,
Okay, so
mobile
this is the
apps, right?
preview of that
All
page.
those.
So there is no payload here. I meant there is no body which you are sending here. Okay, but if you see the post request, there is a payload. If I go to the
Now
payload,
this
what I
is
will be
the
able to see? Any
graph.
guess? What I did is login. Okay, I did a login. I logged in using my username and password.
Payload should have username, password, and session ID if applicable.
Correct, correct. Perfect. Okay, so you will have the username, you will have the password, then
So
whatever
if you
session ID or
see,
cookies and all,
this
no,
is
that's
the
those
these are
things
the
will be
tool
there in that
currently used in the
post
market. New
request.
load is
So
there,
that's what
load
I
runner,
meant. Send
right?
whenever you
Gateway
have a post
JMeter. So you
request,
see
only
JMeter,
that time you will have a
uh,
body,
it's
or else you will only have
it's
the filters. Okay, that is the
its usage
parameters.
or people
So
using
similar to
this
that, get, post,
are
add,
huge in
put,
number.
different options are there.
In which
Even
country
delete,
performance
delete is
testing
for
are
deleting
done?
some values
So
from there.
mostly in
So
India or
basically,
in USA, right?
these
Jobs
are
are
more
there.
sort of an
Performance
API
testing
level.
jobs are
We
there.
call it API,
Which companies
API
are there
methods. Okay. So
for doing
different methods are there.
performance
Delete we will
testing?
use
So
for deleting
Cognizant,
some
very
card, or delete some
widely used
user, for
company,
deleting
a very big
some
company
data.
in
Okay, these
having
things we can
performance
use
testing
delete. So
projects.
different
Data,
options. So most of the
Infosys,
time, if I
Capgemini,
see,
Accenture, and many
the
more are
general
there,
ones which you use is
right?
get, post, put. So nowadays is growing, like people are using more put
Now
compared to
coming
post.
back, so talking
Then we
about
have
me,
delete, then their patch. Okay. uh yeah, so
yeah. So
those are the
talking
ones
about
which
me, my
we
name is Vallabh
see, and
Kumar,
options
short
also
form VK.
nowadays. Yeah,
Okay,
these are the
I'm
ones, but
having
others are
experience
not
in
that common. Okay, we don't
around
use
seven
that
plus
much.
years of
These are the
experience
common ones which generally
in
you see
JMeter
in
load
HTTP
runner and
request
new load.
nowadays. Right. So
Selenium,
that's
right?
about the
Currently, I'm
HTTP
working
request.
in
Anywhere,
Bengaluru.
any query, anyone
I work in
regarding
projects
any
like
of these options.
e-commerce,
This
education,
advanced we
banking,
will
and
come back
insurance.
when
Right,
we
I'm
do
article
the
author at
execution. Okay, we'll try to
Profmetrics. I'm
understand that
associated with
what these
Isha
are.
Training Solution for training. Right, I've
Anyone?
trained around 1,000
Any
plus
queries?
people on JMeter on
Clear
G
from my end.
We,
till now. Right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So
Someone who asked
uh,
a question.
the course content, right? So if you see
Jayshree?
the website for
yeah,
Isha,
Vishnu. So
right? This is the link.
when we use this
The whole course content
option,
is
I mean,
kept here,
like get post and all
right?
option
You
was
can
there,
go
right,
through
in the
this
request?
page.
Correct. Yes.
What
So
kind of
when
request
we
is that?
yeah. So see, it's based on what request you are hitting. See, this is a post request, right? Request method.
Mhm.
So when you are using this
Fine.
request, you need to choose post here.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Okay.
I
Then
got.
But
Option
I said
also
I
there,
have
right?
completed so many batches. So if
yeah,
you,
and when you are
I'll show
using
you.
this
So if
request,
you
it's a
see
get
this,
request. You need to choose the get.
like this is March batch.
Okay.
You can
So
see
based
this
on
is
what you are hitting.
April
So
batch.
if you're
I have
hitting catalog dot
completed.
action, it's a get
Then
request. The URL is this. So all
if
it
you
will be
see
this
June
combination.
batch here,
Okay. Then when it is
then
account, it is this URL, this request method,
July batch,
right?
right? Then likewise you
Yeah,
see
is there
In
a
the
question,
different
drop
somebody
down,
asked?
we
so
have, yeah,
videos
yeah.
you
The
cannot
question
see,
Yeah.
is, can you go
right?
to
Because they are
JMeter?
hidden for only paid
Yeah.
members.
Yeah, here
Okay,
option
October
is
batch.
there,
So
right?
likewise, if
Like,
you see,
Yeah.
yeah,
Correct.
below put. Yeah,
Okay.
January
yeah.
this year,
Uh,
2021
what
batch,
kind of request
right?
is this option?
March, then
Okay. So
No, I
see
haven't
again
now.
seen
April
this.
2021, like that, right?
Okay, so
See,
options
June
request is
21.
basically
So I've taken
used
so many batches,
for,
July,
I'm trying to
right?
give
So
you some
I'm
example which you'll
just why
understand.
I'm showing this is to just
Mm,
to build the trust, right? That uh,
Delete is easy to understand,
Jan
but
dash
options is
23
see now, like
22,
for example, uh,
right? Then as I
uh,
said, I am article
it's
author
more
at
sort of like
this.
an option. Okay,
Uh,
I explain you.
this
See, it's more
this is what
so now
Postmetrics
let's say
website,
you have a client.
right?
Okay,
Here,
it can
Okay.
specify a URL. Like for example, okay,
then
let me open some website which has some options.
here,
If I go to http://bin.org.
if you want to know about the feedback, right? About my course, so you can visit this website. You can just search in Google, right? JMeter. What you will be searching? JMeter basic to advanced, basic to advanced, advanced perf metrics, like that. Perf metrics. Simply
Okay, it's more.
search in Google JMeter basic to
That's what
advanced
I said.
perf
It's a very
metrics,
new
right? Perf metrics
sort
spelling
of
is here,
method generally
and you will
people
get a
use.
Google search like this. This is the link, right?
Now, for
You can
example, if I
open this
give
link
you, okay, like let's say
and visit
write
this
some
page,
something here,
and you can read
options,
feedback about my course. Okay,
and I give some
so I always suggest before
some
you choose the
request.
trainer,
Like
you
for
should
example,
read the
it's
feedback about him, right? Who is the trainer,
something.
right? How much classes he has done, what is his previous uh, students, or what his previous people say about his course, right? So you should people should do R&D, correct? So here you can do R&D. I am keeping everything open, right? There is nothing hidden. Fine.
So see,
Same
basically,
way,
it's
what
more
are the
sort of
application that I'll be using? So we
now
will
if
be
you have a
using
now
this JPEG
options
store.
method. Okay, now if you have and
Then we will be using one
okay, I will
application
do one
called
thing, Jayshree.
Adapting.
I will find out some options request
All
for
right.
you,
Then
some
we'll
website.
be using another
Okay, and I
application
will
called
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
this
share that.
Nope
Okay,
Commerce
that time.
Okay.
for
Okay,
different scenarios to learn in this course,
so it's
right?
more sort of security reason only. Okay, if I say it that way. So when you're sending a data
Now, what
to a
will be
different
the
domain, okay,
benefits
there's something called a pre-flight. Heard
of this
about it?
course, right? So real-time examples,
No, Vishnu.
then
Yeah, so
JMeter
that's what
Pro
I don't want to
Plus
complicate
training
it more
certification will
by
be
giving
given.
these words. I was
Training
thinking
session will be
how
carried
in easy
online.
way I can give you this.
Each
See,
day
whenever you
recorded
are
videos,
sending
right,
some
with lifetime
request,
access via YouTube will
some
be
cross
given.
domain request. Heard about cross
3
domain
real-time
request?
project application which I have just shown you
No.
will be shown to
Yeah,
you.
that's fine. See, I don't want to
So you
confuse
can
with a
crack,
lot
or
of
you can
new
show
jargons. What I
you can show or
generally mean
crack
is like,
interview
let's
up to
say you
two
have
to 3 years of
Amazon.com
experience
and you
after
have
this
a
course.
JPEG store,
Right,
and they are
that
intercommunicating.
much
Okay, so there is
beneficial this
some
course
API
will
which
be.
is communicating with
Notes, documents,
Amazon.com from
script,
JMeter
report,
store.
template, resume,
Okay,
all
so
thing will
that's
be
more
provided.
sort of, but it's not secured because
You
it's a
can join
different
any
domain,
future
right?
batch free in
So
case you
to
have you are
to
unable to
make it more
complete current batch.
secured, what we
Only
do
for
is we
full
do a
fees paid
pre-flight.
candidate.
So
So
browsers
this
will
feature
send a
is there.
pre-flight
If you cannot finish this
HTTP
batch,
options
you can
request
join
to the
any
target server.
future
Okay,
batch.
so what
Okay.
will happen is what is
Who can
happening there
enroll?
is
Anyone who wants to learn JMeter from basic to
if
advanced.
so it's
Anyone
more sort
who
of
has
if
basic
option,
knowledge
no?
in
If you
JMeter
get
and
this,
wants to
do
have
this. If you
in-depth
get this, do
knowledge.
this. So that options,
Anyone who
like
wants
there are
to make performance testing as a career,
two responses you will get.
they can enroll.
Getting
Right?
my point?
Okay, okay,
Now
Vishnu.
coming to
It's more
key
sort of
highlights.
it's not that one single response you
So
will get always. It's more sort of based on what uh, what is the
key
what is
highlights,
what is
right?
it
So
what is the
this is very
condition
huge. If you
you
see,
will get the
I'll be
response.
using three real-time project
Getting
Okay,
integration
okay.
scripting, right?
Yeah, yeah.
JMeter will be taught
yeah,
through its
I
best
let me see
practices
if
for
I
recording,
get the
scripting,
hold of some
enhancement,
website which has an
execution,
options
HTML
request,
report generation,
and
test,
I will most of
testing,
the
and
time this
other.
options request you'll
JMeter
find in mobile apps.
introduction,
Okay,
history,
yes,
version,
not
download,
in
Oh,
web
launching.
service.
We'll
okay,
see core
okay,
Yeah,
concept
okay,
of
sure.
it will
performance
be
testing,
if you have this
HTTP
postman and all,
protocol
you'll
in
be testing
detail,
these options
recording
request
in JMeter,
most of the
about
times. The
JMeter
mobile apps
directories,
when you're testing, no,
properties file
that time
folder,
this will be
plugin
more common.
manager, plugin installation, uninstallation, right?
Okay, Vishnu. Yeah,
Performance testing of
that's right.
web application, end-to-end
Okay, so
scripting by taking
next
three
go. Let's
real-time
move on to
scenarios, correlation,
sampler. Yeah, so
parameterization,
there are different
regular
samplers like
expression
that,
in
like
detail,
HTTP
regular
request.
expression extractor with
Now
its
in
different
this HTTP
attributes,
request, there is
right?
something
Dynamic
called
value extraction in
if you go
JMeter
to
with
the
real-time use cases, correct?
request here. Okay, there is something called
Then test
request
data
headers.
preparation
Okay,
and use of CSV dataset config,
so
heap
I
size, memory size
any guess
detailing,
like where do
how
we
to do
give this
test
because without
execution and
request
HTML
headers,
report
my
generation in
request
non-GUI
will not
GUI
work.
mode,
It is more sort
test
of the
running,
security
analysis,
conditions which the request
reporting,
has.
different type
Okay,
of
so
performance
all
testing,
those
concurrent
prerequisites
user, simultaneous
which
user,
that request should
use
satisfy for
the
the
Little's
server to
law, right? We'll be
accept it
learning Little's law.
as
There
if
is a law in
it's
performance
a
testing
proper
that is called
request.
Little's
It's
law
in the
to
header. Okay,
calculate
so
pacing, think
where
time,
do you
number of
see we give the
users.
header anywhere?
Then there are
Do you see
some
that
this like
header
how we can
anywhere we
pass
can give
argument
here?
in a
No.
JMeter test in non-GUI
So
mode.
any
Okay.
guess what
Then we'll
would
be
be the
learning our
solution to that?
JMeter and distributed testing master and
We
slave,
may need to add
JMeter influx
any
DB,
separate
Grafana
sampler
integration for
or
Correct.
visualization,
hypothetically for that.
JMeter and
Correct. So we need
Jenkins
to have a
integration, right?
different element for
Then
that, which
preparing a
is the
test suite
HTTP
using
header
three
manager.
ways.
Okay. Now this
Execution and
HTTP header
HTML
manager,
report
you
generation.
can find it
Test suite means
inside
what? Running multiple scenarios.
config
That is
element.
called
It's a
test suite.
configuration
Okay.
element we call it. Okay.
Then
We will
we'll learn about
since we have
scoping
not
and
much time left,
execution
I'm not going
precedency
deep
rule.
into
There is
config
a
element
rule
now,
in
but only this HTTP header manager
JMeter
since
that
we
is
are
called as
speaking about the
scoping and
request now.
execution
Okay.
precedency
So
rule,
this HTTP
right?
header manager, if you add,
Then
okay,
recording through
from the
third parties
config
based
element,
using curl, HER, Fiddler, right, and
so just
exporting to
right click.
JMeter. Then we'll learn
I'll do
about
this one.
JMeter elements and sub elements with plugins.
So just right click on the
Total
HTTP
around
request,
60 plus
add
element we'll be
config
learning.
element,
Correct.
and I
Next.
add HTTP
So
header
you see,
manager.
this is
Okay.
what
So here I can give all the
then how
headers. For
to handle
example, there's the
Windows
easy way to give the
authentication
headers
or
also. I just
browser
copy
pop-up
it
handling, big billion day sale or Black Friday sale or random scenario, how to do
and I
that.
can just add from
Then
clipboard.
this
See,
just in
automatically
beginning
all
I
the
told,
headers
right,
have been added.
for the 20% of use
So
cases
what I
where
did is
Java
just
will be
I
used,
went here. I just
and that will be
just
covered.
highlighted the
Error
request
handling
headers.
in
I
JMeter, then
copy. I just click
file
add
upload,
from
download,
clipboard.
FTP,
Automatically,
file
all
upload,
those
download,
headers have
web
been added. See,
services,
these are
DB
accepted
queries.
coding cache
Then
control content
using
length
Pokemon for
and
server
see, and
marketing, then
again the
Selenium
copy
WebDriver
paste might
for
not work
page load or
sometimes
revert
because see now for
testing, then
example there
IP
is a cookie
spoofing,
here.
network
Okay, this
simulation.
cookie might
Then
have
we will be
expired
learning
or
JMeter
like let's say there
functions, around
could be some
40
session IDs
functions,
which will
40
expire.
plus
So when
functions.
you run it second time it will not work.
Not 40, I think
Only the first
40.
time it would work.
Yeah,
So we
30,
need to
40,
handle that somehow. Like we
40
will
plus
learn that how
functions.
we handle those
Then from
situations.
load
Okay,
runner point also
when
I'll be
we
teaching the
see the
JMeter,
execution
then
and
the
analysis that time.
certification from place meter,
Is
right?
it clear, everyone?
We'll
Like
be using
how do you
latest version of
add a
JMeter
header
and
to
many more.
HTTP header manager?
Correct.
Yeah.
So that
Right. Now there is
this
one
is
more
the
thing.
key highlights of this
Now this
course. You
same
see,
thing
so
copy
detailed,
paste you
three
can
PPTs on this.
do it
Plus, if you want to
manually also. You
know
can just click
in
add
detail, right?
and I can give whatever name the header name is and the value. Like whatever value the header value is. I can give like this also, like I can just directly do it manually.
Yeah. So if you want to
Even
know,
I can load it from a
this is
file,
Grafana dashboard
or I can
at
save
JMeter
some
and
headers. I
InfluxDB
can save it
Grafana. So
to a
if you
file,
want to know
okay, and I can
in
load it
detail,
after
right,
some time
in day
from
wise,
that file. That also I
so
can do.
that
Okay,
whole I
so
cannot
these are the
read now,
options which we have.
correct?
Yeah, right.
So
So any question,
you see
anyone regarding HTTP
Yes.
header manager? Yeah.
Yes, Vishnu. So the how does this get executed
from day
on
wise
top
this
of?
is
It
what.
should be placed on top of
So that key
HTTP
highlights I
request,
have just
or
No,
told
no,
you.
no, no,
But
no,
day
never, never.
wise
It
what
should be
topics will
inside
be
this
covered
tree.
in
See
detail.
now, if you see the
Right.
tree,
So
test
this
plan is the
is
parent.
kept
Okay,
on now.
thread group
Mhm.
is the
Both the
the
links which
next
I have
child.
just talked
Then
about.
HTTP request is the
Either you
next child.
can
Okay. Then inside that HTTP
visit
request, you
this
have the header. So if I put it here,
pop
it's
metric
wrong.
link,
Okay.
basic to
Okay. So
advanced
what
link,
I need
which
to
I
do
have
is I click
highlighted,
here and
where you
I
will get the
just drag it into
feedback,
this
right?
HTTP request.
Here that device topic is
Okay.
also
Okay.
listed,
Because
or
in
on
load
Isha
runner,
Training
it's like on
Solution
top of the
link
request we
also. Here
place
also you
this
can
add
check
header.
No, no,
this,
no, no,
So
no.
right?
noted.
In
Anyone wherever you
JMeter,
like,
it's
you
more
can
sort of a
read
top-down
each
approach.
day,
Okay. So whatever
Oh.
will be there,
each
it
day
should be
topic.
inside the
So detail.
like this previous request.
Unnecessary
If it
reading
has to
this
use that
will
header,
be
it has to
not
be inside it.
good for you
Okay.
guys,
Got it.
Yeah.
because many will be new, they
Right.
will not be
So
understanding. But yeah,
if no more
if you
question,
wish, you
let's
can
stop
go
here.
through
Let's
and
continue tomorrow. Tomorrow, yeah, it's
have an idea.
oh, today's
Sure.
Friday.
Yeah.
Next is
Okay, sorry, I lose the
yeah. So that
time
is all
sometimes.
about
Yeah.
today.
Let's meet on Monday. Then
Right.
we can
Timing
continue
will be
on these elements
generally
and even the
9:10,
execution analysis and all. So have a good
So
weekend,
Vishnu,
everyone. Yeah.
9:10
Vishnu,
p.m.
we don't
to
have any sessions on weekends.
10:20,
This weekend I am not planning
10:20,
any, but we can plan in the upcoming weekend.
10:25.
Okay, sometime.
Okay,
Okay, okay.
Monday to
So
Saturday.
one more
Yeah.
question
Any 4
regarding
to 5
HTTP
days.
header manager, Vishnu.
Okay,
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
were
this will be
saying it is a
timing
top-down approach, right?
how this
Sometimes you will
goes.
add at test plan level also, right? That
Okay,
headers.
fine. So thank you for
See
your
now
presence.
if you
Right. So
want this
that
header
is
to
what
be used
day
everywhere,
one,
you can add it
or you
like a
can
global
say
variable
demo one
also.
today.
Yes.
Okay,
I'd
okay.
like to have your
Yeah.
If you can
inputs
add
and
also
views.
request level also then.
Please,
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
for
You
uh,
can
each
add a
request you
request
can
level.
add.
mute yourself and
Correct.
go ahead
Yes.
Okay, okay.
and please
But
ask.
this method is not generally
I
that for headers.
I
We don't
develop.
use that because
Yes.
what happens is
Vallabh,
see
do you
the
provide
applications keep on
then
changing. Okay, it's more
projects
sort of
also?
not
If
the
we
instant
get
is I
2 or
meant
3
for
years
that
experience.
purpose, but in a
So
long term,
basically,
I'm
I
thinking
don't
about.
have
Okay,
any.
so
I'm
every
Okay.
time the request
functional
keep
tester,
on
so
changing. So
basically,
now if you give it like a global
I'm
variable,
about to learning the
it's
JMeter.
hard for you
So
then later on to
I don't
change it.
have how
Getting
to
my point?
write a, JMeter means
Okay.
performance
Most of
testing
it will go in
scenarios
every
and test
variable. Okay,
cases.
so
And
then later
I'm
on for you
my
to
background
find
is
it out
in
if some
uh,
request is failing
banking
due to that.
domain. So
Okay,
how can I show my
that header
projects
should not
in
go in that request.
JMeter as in a
Then if you
performance
remove that
testing?
global
Can
variable,
you
the
help
other
me in
request
that?
will fail then.
Yes, man. It will be very easy for you. Do not worry. We will
Okay,
be
okay. So
using
I
this
mean to say
application,
you
right?
better to
We will
add
be
for
preparing test case,
request level, right? So that
and
it won't
Correct,
we
fail.
correct.
will
It's all
be learning about
correct, correct. Headers is always
how
better
to
to add in
write, how to
request level.
test.
Variables you can easily add in global level because variables, anyways, it's
Okay.
based on you. You create it, you use it. Okay,
Okay,
so
okay,
you
okay.
can always play around with it. But
Yeah.
header is always because it's in the developer side, right? They change
Correct,
it, they
correct.
keep on. So better
Keep
to
on.
have it.
Okay. Next,
Yes, yes, yeah.
any
Okay,
next
Vishnu.
query,
Thank you.
please?
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Hmm.
Okay. Any more questions,
Vallabh, I
anyone?
am Rajesh here.
Lavanya,
Yesterday you were,
Pranika?
yeah,
So I don't
yesterday
have
you were
any
explaining
questions
about different type
regarding
of
the
testing,
concept.
right? Like in
We're
JMeter
covering and
itself.
everything. It
So
is
in
good for
real
our
time,
future.
do we execute
The thing
all,
is,
or it depends
is
on the
there any
requirement, like
different
load,
timings for the
right? You were
course? Like
explaining.
it's the only one timing
Correct,
for the
correct. So it
course?
based on the
So how do we
Because
requirement
know?
already you
or
know that
yeah, correct.
already
So
you
now,
know,
for
right?
example,
Like
if you're
some
running a spike,
IPL
okay,
matches are
it's simple.
going
Okay, you
in
have a thread
India,
group, you just
so everyone
grab a
will
bead, you make it
look into that.
0, okay, and
So
give
is
a
there any
startup delay,
different
whatever
No
timings for
delay you
problem.
that?
want, like some
No, no.
if
No
once you
problem.
start the
No,
test,
no, no problem.
keep some 100 seconds of a
Yeah.
delay, and users you make
Yeah.
it 100. It's a
Thanks,
spike
Vallabh.
test.
Yeah.
No, no,
Welcome.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to
Yeah.
know whether like all
Hmm.
type of testing needs to be handled
Hi, Vallo.
in a single,
Yes.
No,
like
no, 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 no,
sorry.
no,
Yeah,
no,
do you
no,
have
no, no, no. See,
anything for
basically,
weekend
all type of
batches?
tests will be done in different stages.
No,
Okay,
sorry.
Okay,
whenever you do performance test,
Okay.
initially you do a sanity. Okay, sanity is more
okay,
sort of there is
I'm
no
also job holder and
you
I
don't worry
take
about
only
load and
one
all. It will
batch
be
at a
very
time.
minimal load. Like
Okay,
if your
okay.
final
No
load which you
issues.
need to achieve
Thanks.
in the load test is
Mm,
500 users,
thank you.
you do the test with some 10, 20, 30 users. Okay, that's all, and you make your script
okay,
ready
Vallabh,
for that
certification,
execution.
once
okay,
this course is
okay,
That is a
complete,
sanity.
certification
Then
also
you go for
are
load
given,
test.
right? To
Load
come to
test, like
course for
as I said, your
certification.
load test
Yes,
is
yes.
500
Yeah, it
users.
will
So
be given.
you run a load test for 500 users. then you go for spike test. Okay, then you go for
Okay.
stress test. Then finally, before the sign off, generally what happens is you run an endurance test. That's
Okay.
the order.
Any
That's
more
the order.
questions?
Generally,
Okay.
Any
people
further
Okay.
follow.
questions?
Yeah. Yeah. and
Okay.
each sign
Also,
off.
like,
Each sign
yeah.
off. So load
Also,
test has to be sign off, then spike test has to be signed off, then stress test has to be signed
Hi
off.
Vallabh,
If you
this
want
is
to run all,
Deepika.
okay. Sometimes you can skip
Yeah,
also.
please.
Like if
Vallabh,
your
actually,
client says
companies are
spike test is not required
preferring
or
freshers,
stress
or
test is not
do
required,
they
you skip it.
only,
okay.
recruit with an
So
experience?
also you were saying about NFR
They are
and
looking both,
reports, right?
depends on
I
company
just
to
want to
company.
see how
But
in
Okay.
real time it looks because I couldn't find
um,
that in the
uh,
internet. Maybe
your
you can
fresher.
share like when you
Yeah.
get a chance.
Sure. I will share.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
generally, these
Okay,
NFRs will be very
when which year
vague.
passed out?
Vague means like it's
Recently?
not any detailed document as such, but it will
I
be
didn't
no
get
sort of
you.
this API is there.
Oh, you
Okay, this
hope
has
you have
this many
recently passed
transactions,
from your college,
and
right?
it
Actually, I
shouldn't
didn't.
take
I
more than
mean,
3 seconds
I
for this
have an
much users. That's
experience
what
in
will be
SAS
there in the NFR
programming.
because
I
these
don't
Okay,
business
have any
analysts
relevant
they will not
experience in
put it
performance
more
testing.
clearly like TPS
Okay.
and all. They won't do
Okay,
that.
you
Okay,
can show.
that you will
okay,
have to
yep,
do. Yeah.
Whatever you
okay,
have done, right?
And
You
there will be
please
some
convert
number for that
and show.
NFR.
It
Generally
will
Okay,
be
what
okay.
better.
happens like NFR
Okay, fine.
01 or because
Thank you.
non-functional requirements are not only
Vallabh,
performance. There are
to
different
get the job,
non-functional
it's
requirements also like
JMeter
the
is
UI UX
only
and all.
enough,
No?
or we need to
So
yeah.
learn a
Because
load runner
in
also.
our company, like it is like
Initially,
it's like imagine
it's
like we are
enough,
a
but
product
later
based,
on you should
so
learn.
there is no customer or someone. So
correct.
Okay, then
we
Mm,
need
yeah,
it
yeah.
to
will be easy
define
to
our
crack the
own
jobs on JMeter,
requirements. So
only
I
Yes,
on
just
yes.
wanted
JMeter.
to know how I can figure it
Mm-hmm.
out.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now,
So how much
how you
experience they will
make
be
see
asking
when you are
most
working for a
probably.
product company or any company, and you are the person
See,
who is
it
making the
depends. That's what
NFR.
I told.
Okay,
Initially, suppose you want
then
to go
Yeah.
you will have to
as
analyze the
fresher
production data.
or maximum 2 year,
Okay,
3 year,
Okay.
JMeter is
and
enough.
The
one thing.
current.
But after
Yeah,
that,
yeah. Second thing
suppose you
is
want to
based
go
on your
on 4 year,
experience, you need
5 year like that,
to
then you should learn
keep
load runner
tuning your
also.
requirement. Like for example, if you feel okay, this transaction
So we will be
will take
providing
around
load
10
runner also
seconds.
along with
So
this
you initially
course,
go with 10
or
seconds, and
any
if
other
you
timings.
can tune it further,
No
make it
man, I
2
don't
seconds,
teach load
1 second, how much ever you can. So in that way only,
Okay.
because if it's a new API,
Well,
you don't have
I have
that
one
data in
question.
production, no? So
Means
Yep.
how
there's no way other way
they
to find
salary
out
also
like
gave
what would be
then
the NFR.
for a three
But
years
yeah,
experience
based
or a
on
two
the
years
like
experience
one
guy.
user, okay, if one user is taking 5
6
seconds,
lakhs,
okay, so you keep
7
some
lakhs like.
like 8 second to 9 second, 8 to 9 seconds,
Okay,
it should take
as
for
in
whatever
actually
contributors,
my
and
already
you
my offer is in
tune your
above
system.
that.
So the only that is the way
So
for a new
if
API.
we
Yeah,
okay,
Yep.
but
I will ask
already
you in
available
person.
APIs,
Okay.
if some updates are happening or some changes are
Okay.
happening, and if it's a comparable API, like for example, there's an add card, there's a delete card. So it's a comparable one. Like add card, if it is taking two
Hi
seconds,
Vallabh,
delete card also
this
should
is
take
Devi
around
here.
two
Uh,
It
seconds
can
Yep.
go to 8
based on
lakhs
the
also,
operations and all. So
because
in that way, you
nowadays
can
they are
make your
giving good
NFRs. Yeah.
packages.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
Any more
Yeah,
questions?
yeah, please.
Hi, yeah,
When we
hi.
run
So currently I'm in support
I
field,
got two voices.
application support field.
sorry, when we
So
will
like
run
I have
smoke test
interest
before
in
load test only, right?
testing jobs.
Yes, before load test,
So
because
like,
that is a test where
is it
you
easy to get
figure out your script is
like
working
jobs in
properly or not,
performance
or
testing
is there
Mm,
any
by
data issues.
support
So all
role?
those you do it during that time.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
You
So
have to just
what's
work
the difference
little bit
between
hard.
sanity and smoke test?
Mm-hmm.
Similar.
Mm.
Okay.
It's just a
Mm-hmm.
word.
Thank you.
Sanity is
At least
more.
6 months you
Sanity
have
and
to
smoke
work
test. You
hard.
can use any word for performance. Not that much difference.
Okay,
Only thing is
so the
sometimes
company will
sanity is more sort
consider
of people call it
like
before smoke test. So
if I attend
sanity
the
is more sort
interview
of you are
and
cleaning your script and
I'm in
all.
a support
Like
background,
when you're scripting, you
so
will
they
leave a
will
lot of garbages behind. No,
consider
so you
my like
clean those.
after
So
completing
that's why
this
the
course and
sanity
if
word
I
comes.
get
Then
into an
smoke test
interview,
is
they will
basically before
consider,
you start
right?
your test, you run a small smoke test
Ah,
to
yeah, they will
understand whether the
consider. There
system
is a
is
way. Directly they will not
stable,
consider. Just
like the
your
basic
job, what you have
stability.
done.
Okay, like
You have to
functionally and all.
Okay.
convert that
That's a
in
smoke test. But if you
some
see, it's
relevant
both
experience
same
that
only,
you have done
not that
performance
a
test.
big
Okay,
difference.
Oh, okay.
that is what you have to learn.
Okay.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Clear, Shansha?
Yeah.
Yeah, clear,
Okay.
Vishnu.
Vallabh,
Okay,
you will
okay.
be
Thank you.
providing
Pushpa?
Vishnu,
projects for practice.
Vishnu, one
Oh,
question.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Like,
certainly. Yeah,
Clear
go ahead.
questions are
yeah. So
mainly
for
JFix role will
suppose
be
like for
provided.
one request we have some
Plus many
50
other
users
applications
for,
are
and
also
for the
there.
next request we
You
need to
guys
add
can
some
practice
20 users.
later on.
So do we add different thread groups for that or how do we manage that?
Correct. So in
And how
JMeter,
will
you
be the,
don't
if
have
we
that
have any
option to
issues,
add the
what
users
is
in
the
real
way
time. Okay.
to
That
contact you?
option you get only in load runner
In
because
class only.
JMeter is a Java Java program. Okay, so
Interesting.
once you compile it, you can't change it while in the real time. Okay, so what you need to do during that time is you need to add a thread group. different thread group, or you need to add some timers and all. Yeah, in that way you need to handle, J3.
Okay, guys, right? So
Okay.
anything else?
Timers,
Yeah.
how can we? No, suppose some five requests are there. For
As of
that
now,
five
no, no,
requests, I want
I don't
five
have.
users. It will
Yes.
be different
May know
scenarios,
the
right?
fee of
So
this course
different
and
So if
scenarios you need.
users you need
this
to
session.
add, only thread group you need to add. I meant only
That
that's the
I think
solution.
that will be
Okay.
given to you
Yeah.
in group. They will be
Okay.
pinging
So
you
and one question, Vishnu, like
Okay.
smoke test, do we know do this manually or can we do in JMeter by giving one
No,
user
no, no
thread
certificate
number
required.
one?
In
Can we
JMeter,
do
in
or
JMeter, you can do.
There is
See,
no such
JMeter will
certification also.
act like a postman or any other tool if you use it with the one user.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Vishnu.
No, no, not not
So,
not
I have
required,
a quick
and
question
there is
coming
no
back
such
to what
certification
JC has
also.
just raised, right?
Yeah, so
So let's say
Okay.
in one
Vallabh,
particular
is there
scenario,
any
I want 100
JMeter
users to
certification
just
is
do
there
login transaction
No, no,
here,
that's
and
okay.
fifty
like in
users doing
No, no,
ISTQB?
searching for a
no,
product, right? Usually
yeah,
in Loadrunner,
no,
we
no,
handle it with
No
different
certification is
actions,
there
right?
at all.
no,
correct.
no.
Yeah.
So, as you just
In
mentioned,
Loadrunner
is
it
it
is there,
really
right? I believe.
feasible with different thread groups in
In
JMeter,
Luna it's there.
Vishnu?
So see, basically, see now, generally in JMeter, whatever you set the test and you run it, you can't change it in the real time.
Yeah, in the course I
That's a
think
limitation. Okay.
Thank you,
So
Vallabh.
Vallabh
only
already
thing what you can
mentioned
do is you
this
can either start a
JMeter
different
Influent
JMeter
Pro certification you will
after
get. Yeah.
that much duration of time, a JMeter
That is different.
altogether, or you can
Dedicated
do what you need to do is, as I said, you need to
certification for
create a thread
JMeter is
group
not there.
which will start after some specific duration. Getting it?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Got it.
you can't change it in real time. That is a
You will learn in
till now
course.
JMeter doesn't have, and I
Chetan
don't
Kumar.
think in some time also it will come,
What
because
is core is that
JMeter
you'll
is
learn.
more sort of a Java compiled program. Okay, so once you
Mm.
click on start, it compiles the program and it starts running. So you can't change a program when it is running, right? The source code can't be changed.
Oh, okay. So now,
Only
thread
Thank you,
group
Vallabh.
is a
Good
kind of
night. Thank you.
scenario and which would
Yeah.
have only one script within it. Is it right? Is my understanding right?
Anything
not
else?
like that. See now, you when
Hello,
you add users,
Vallabh,
when you are
we
running the
do
test,
performance testing
only when
on also on
you are doing
a
some
mobile
in load
application.
test, you don't do that.
Yes.
It's always
Mm.
prefixed only, right? You
Right,
do it
So
only
in
when you are doing a
our
stress test,
right.
batch it
right?
will covers
Now if you're
also.
doing a stress
No, that
test, what you
mobile
do, you
part is
make
not.
10 thread groups, okay? And 10 thread groups, keep you can do what you like. Each thread group you can start one after another after a specific duration of time,
Mm.
and you monitor it in your tool whichever you're using. Okay, so when you have 10 thread groups, around 5 or 6 thread groups your system will fail. Then you know, okay, after how many
Okay,
users my
thank you,
system
thank you.
failed, right? In
Okay,
that way you can do some workarounds, you need to do like that. Yeah.
okay, but okay, okay, got it.
Vishnu, my question was like, suppose some 30 users are accessing one application, okay?
Uh-huh.
So, all the 30 users won't be accessing one particular function, right? So,
Correct.
some five users will be doing some activity,
Okay,
then
Yeah,
fine.
other
that
10
we need
users
to
will be,
control.
yeah.
Correct, Jayshree. So that's why we don't speak in terms of
Okay,
users, we
Vallabh,
speak
thank
in
you so
terms of
much.
TPS.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah,
so we
thank
okay,
will
you.
yeah, thank
control
you.
the TPS of those transactions.
Yeah,
So
thank you,
for
guys.
that we
I
have
will take
elements. Okay, we will be I will show you. Like there are some timers, there are throughput controllers. Okay,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
that is obviously because it's not that if login also 5 users, then order also 5 users. No. So login if it is 5 TP